It's an absolutely crazy day in the world of Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast has signaled their intentions to make another Magic 30 set, the most hated set in the game's history. Things are about to get truly insane.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The Magic Historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for another ridiculous installment of Mega Magic News. We're talking Magic 30 2.0. I told you guys that Wizards of the Coast was not going to leave the reserve list alone. They were not going to let this juicy bone rot out in the sun. They want it in their mouths. And so they are back with another underhanded plan to try and sneak Magic 30 into us. Maybe if we just give them a little drip feed. A lot of people don't even realize that what they've done is a lead into Magic 30. And speaking of Magic 30, if you'd like to see some being opened, I actually opened up a pack over on my other channel, Hatcher. Do not watch it with your kids unless you want them to find out how the Resurrection Man makes the lady pay for bringing her husband back. And it's not something you want your kids to learn, trust me. So, that being said, Magic 30, massive failure. Why are we seeing a return? How are we seeing a return? Well, take a look at this image. This is a very odd looking counterspell, isn't it? Now, Wizards of the Coast put this image out on their website in the last day or so. You take a look at it, you're like, okay, so it's got the original counterspell artwork. It's a little bit weird. It's like white around the borders. It almost looks like it kind of was printed on half proxy-ish. The text looks a little bit off. You've got a big old sticker stuck on there down instead of where the little circular one would be. It's all zigzaggy and has a just slapped on there lazy kind of vibe to it. And then when you go down to the bottom, you can see that it says Wizards of the Coast across the card. So what even is this supposed to be? Well, the idea behind this is a playtest card. Now, you have to hear what the PR manager for Wizards of the Coast had to say about this. It's pretty amazing. Actually, when I sat down and read it at first, I went, what even is this announcement? And then it dawned on me. I'm like, yo, this is Magic 30. This is what's going. They're bringing it back. They're going for another round, but they're going to try and stealth it on us. All right, so this is posted on the main website too, if you want to go and read it for yourself. It says, fun, right? It looks a little bit like one of those playtest cards from Mystery Boosters or one of those special cards from Gavin Verhey's events at MagicCon, but it was created in a brand new way. We called them playtest cards because they look like what we used to, well, playtest cards before making the real thing. Now this is super disingenuous. The original playtest cards that they were talking about when it comes to the Mystery Booster stuff is cards that they slapped in that were wacky, zany, new cards, right? So it's like, here's a concept we couldn't normally do in Magic. It doesn't really work. They're essentially like uncards, like the silver bordered uncards, but just created as playtest cards. And they were so wildly popular that Mark Rosewater came out and said, yo, everybody wants to play with these playtest cards, but you guys, if you all play with them like real cards, we're going to have to stop making them because we can't have this. He literally came out and said that it was a problem to have people playing with them. And now turning around, it's like, well, Gavin makes special ones for events and those other ones that we put in the mystery boosters. So why don't we do another variation? And yet, lo and behold, this is a card that already exists. Anyways, let's continue what it says here. Only this one, which again is super cool. The fact that you have to put this in here going, that again, it's super cool. It screams, I literally have no idea what to say about this. So it says only this one, which again is super cool, is the first one of these things you might see in the wild that represents an actual, real, pre-existing card. So while it's super cool, it may also be confusing because playtest cards are very much not tournament legal. Counterspell, in most cases, very much is. In this case, however, this particular counterspell, much like the playtest cards that look like it, is not tournament legal. Play it against your friends, keep it in a binder, or tape it to a mirror for your morning motivation. You do you, you just can't do you with this card in tournaments. That's all for now. Carry on. And you look at it and go, well, this is completely, absolutely out of the blue. And why are you making such a big deal? Like, if you're literally going to take, hey guys, we're taking a bunch of cards that already exist as playable Magic cards, and we're reprinting them in an unplayable format. And you just go, huh. Now, what other sets have I seen where you went, you know what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and reprint a bunch of cards, but not in a tournament legal form. Oh yeah, I gave you a hint at the beginning of the video. Magic 30 was exactly that. You had them reprinting alpha, beta, whatever you want to call it, and going, well, the gold borders backs make it so that it's not tournament legal. If you didn't know why they did that, that's so they can go, well, it's not actually reprinting against the reserve list, right? Because these aren't actual Magic cards. They're just fun collector's edition items. And this caused a massive exodus of Magic players. It caused proxy purchasing to spike to the point where Wizards went around playing whack-a-mole, trying to knock down these proxy sites, going, okay, how do we stop this? People are leaving. Like, for real, the effects of this have been so massive that there are a ton of game stores that are still not buying cards. They'll trade for cards, but they will not give you money. There's a bunch of places like, no. We don't do cash. Not even 25%. Forget it. You are out of luck. And this has persisted for months and months. Now, obviously, some of that can be laid at the feet of the worldwide situation that, obviously made it terrible for everybody and has pushed prices up for things. So there is going to be a natural effect of some people getting out of the game in these situations, or at least selling off part of their collection. But the massive landslide that was caused by Magic 30 combined with that has created a glut of cards going out. But Wizards has a big problem, right? There's a ton of money left on the table. That reserve list money is still calling to them. Their investors are still going, yo, you told us you were going to make a bunch of money off of old school Magic. And also, remember, friends, that the decisions at this company, when you look at what happened with the D&D players, when they were getting all up in arms about what was going on with the open gaming license and how Wizards tried to change it, and then information came out that actually the decisions they were making were only being made in consultations with lawyers and high-level management. So they're not talking to their customers, they're not talking to people who have boots on the ground and actually know what's going on, and they're just making decisions based on how much money they can extract from their player base, whether it be D&D or Magic. And Magic 30 was obviously that. They trumpeted it to the investors for 2 months straight, and then it abysmally fell apart. And this counterspell is tied into that. I'm going to put it back up on the screen for a second for you to take another look at it. Look down at the bottom. It has the date January on it. What was going on around January? When did Magic 30 get released? Oh, yeah, right at the end of 2022. So what would this have been? Oh, this would be a special playtest alternate booster fun version of Magic 30 cards. Why did they pick Counterspell? Because Counterspell is the perfect innocuous poster child for what's going on. It was originally in the first set of Magic. So if you're going to do a reprint of all these old cards, you pick something from that set. But Counterspell's been printed a billion different times. So it also feels like a great excuse to come out and be like, hey guys, this Counterspell is going to be showing up and check it out. It's like a playtest card, even though we didn't actually make it look like the original playtest cards. And this isn't what our playtest cards look like internally. You've seen what our playtest cards look like internally. So these are clearly an attempt now to just lie to you and be like, originally the idea was just to completely emulate those original playtest cards, and you just might see some of these cards here or there. But what this is they're going to use this as a way to slide reserve list cards in. You're going to get, I doubt they're going to go full tilt, Black Lotus, Moxes and stuff, but you never know. They may swing hard for the fences. Remember with Magic 30, they thought that, well, you know what? Why don't we send a bunch of these packs out to big professional athletes and stuff, and we'll send them Power 9 like Time Twister and everything like that in hard cases, so that regardless of what they crack, they have a big, crazy, awesome card, and it'll trick people into thinking they're special because look, this rich celebrity has it, and it's in a protective case, so he's protecting it. That must mean it's important. These have value. So Magic 30 is the biggest failure in Magic's history. It's the only product that has been completely rejected by the market. But Wizards of the Coast values it on such an insane level that they thought they could sell 4 randomized booster packs of it for $250. So there's zero chance that they are going to abandon this, especially if you don't know the secondary market value for the Magic 30 cards that exist is extremely, extremely high, and that's obviously due to scarcity. Wizards of the Coast only was able to sell a handful of these boxes. A bunch of the boxes were sent to LGSs, but the most an LGS would get is 3 boxes. That's for premium ones, and that's only 5% of the few thousand LGSs that exist out there. So when it comes to boxes of Magic 30, there's only a few thousand that have been opened, and as a result, the secondary market prices, especially for the old bordered cards and stuff, is absolutely wild. I'm not going to tell you what card I cracked over on the video that I did over on Hatcher, but the old bordered card in there, the secondary market value for it is apparently $450 US, right? Which is absolutely insane for a card that's just coming out of something Wizards has just printed. But that's due to the scarcity. But you have to understand that internally, Wizards is going to look at that and go, yo, like, bro, we're leaving money on the table. People are willing to buy this stuff. Look, it's got secondary market value. Where do we go? So now they're coming back and going, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll slide in these playtest cards. We'll get them used to the idea. The language used in this is so random. They're just going to put up an image and go, hey, this is a cool card, isn't it? Yep, super cool. Looking really cool. By the way, also, just so you know, cards like this aren't legal. They happen to not be legal. Why is that really being hammered home? Because when you reprint reserve list stuff, you can't go and make it tournament playable because then you're violating the reserve list, and that opens up Wizards of the Coast to lawsuits. But there is the possibility that by having made Magic 30 and by having made this like playtest stuff as well, that they've actually already violated the reserve list. And if nobody actually takes legal action against them within a certain time frame, I don't know what it is, but there's usually some kind of statute of limitations when it comes to being able to take legal action for a number of different like areas. So it could totally be a situation where Wizards is actually also just kind of running the clock out. Like, we put out Magic 30, we're going to put out these playtest cards, and we won't push too hard, we'll pull back and whatever, but once we get past that statute, then we can go ham with the reserve list, because there is a lot of reprint value tucked in there. And this counterspell to me is totally the little, hey guys, check it out. We're doing playtest cards, booster fun, right? I mean, I know technically they don't look like the previous playtest cards, but we just really, really want to drive home that you can't use these. So now the question becomes, this was originally meant to be a secret lair card, but is that a full, like, secret lair means anything now. Secret lair means you could get it for showing up to a tournament. It means you could buy a box set of 5 cards. You could buy a set of like a commander deck that comes with it. You could literally join some reward program, anything, right? Oh, you're a VIP at this event. So it's not 100% clear exactly where these were originally planned for, but the fact that they're marked as secret lair for January and we're 7 months down the road shows that this is the vestigial tail aftermath of what's left over from the Magic 30, like, try and grab our money from us. And the initial foray didn't work, so now they're going to try something different. Are we looking at these initially coming out as list cards before leading into a full-on Magic 30? Magic 30 is coming back. The question is, what form is it going to take, and how easy is it going to be to distinguish it? The counterspell really was, it's a slick move. I have to give them credit. It's a slick move where even somebody like me, who has an eagle eye on them, was like, yo, I'm paying perfect attention to what you're doing. It took me a second to parse it out and go, oh, this is the groundwork for more Magic 30 action. And I will say, on the note of Magic 30, aside from the cost and whatever else, it is actually pretty nostalgic and wonky to go back through these old cards where they're printed with the new borders, right? So you got the new borders, that makes them feel different. They've got the new wording on them as well, which makes them feel different. And I'm gonna let you guys in on something as well. Magic 30 quality, it's got jank around the edges, bro. I opened that pack, I looked at the cards afterwards, I'm like, they didn't even try to print them to a better print quality. They literally are ganked around the edges the same way the Brothers War cards are. I'm gonna open up another pack tonight in a live stream over on Hatcher. So if you'd like to see that live, come on by, we'll crack into it. Bear in mind that the language over there is absolutely wild, right? So Don't bring your kids, and maybe leave the wife at home too. She's not ready for this Magic 30 insanity. So I will see you over there tonight, my friends, for that action. In the meantime, go watch some other videos on this channel, because I haven't been here for a while, so that'll kind of count as if I was. Big shout out to all my patrons for supporting my channel. I will see you all in the next video.